What are some of the specifics you should be watching for when you see the ballet Swan Lake? There's a lot inside this ballet, and even though there are many different versions of the production, there's also a fair amount that you will find that overlaps in each one. Starting with the first act, there's a famous section called the Pas de Trois, or Dance for Three, and in this case, it's one man and two women. This is a soloist section, and even though it doesn't move the story forward, it is a valued and coveted role. Some versions also have a jester in the first act, and the second act is basically iconic in its entirety. But there are a few specific points you can look for. The Four Little Swans. Even if you've never seen the ballet, I'm sure you've heard the music to this part. And while choreography does shift from production to production, you'll almost always see the Four Little Swans as four dancers with crossed attached arms. And this dancing together adds its own level of difficulty because if something goes wrong for one, it goes wrong for all. And if a dancer, let's say if they trip or they behind the music, it's a lot harder to get reoriented while holding on to other people. So the very fact that they're attached adds a special tension to this section. The second act is the first time that we will meet our Swan Queen, Odette. This is a highly anticipated moment. You will feel the crowd getting super excited for her entrance. Throughout her time on stage in this act, you'll want to notice how she shows her vulnerability. Some dancers do this by being outwardly expressive with their fear and their needing to be saved, while others will do it by holding back with a reserved, timid quality that makes you wonder who they are and what they really, really need. Then there is a famous and very long pas de deux duet, dance for two, between Siegfried and Odette, followed not by the usual template of male solo, then female solo, then coda, which is ballet's word for finale, but by the core dancers, right? The body of the ballet, the group. The second act is really a pas de deux that's not just between Odette and Siegfried, but between the prince and all the maidens under the spell, because his promise could free them all. Now on to the third act, and a special thanks to our sponsor, Marquee TV, my favorite arts-only streaming platform, where you can see multiple versions of Swan Lake, Rudolph Nureyev and Margot Fontaine, to Matthew Bourne's version that you may recognize from the movie Billy Elliot, where the swans are all men. The third act is one of the most known acts in all of ballet. This is where you'll see the famous 32 Fouettes that the crowd, over a century after its premiere, still goes crazy for. So what other than the Fouettes are we paying attention to? Well, you'll want to look for the ways in which Odile is both similar to and different from Odette. Odile is more confident, more overtly seductive, but she's also supposed to be subtle enough that the prince could believably be fooled into thinking that this is his love. So there's a fine line in the acting that can be a challenge, even to the best dancers in the world. And what makes this ballet so hard is not only the formidable technical demands, but the character changes. The great ballerina Margot Fontaine said that it was the only ballet that she couldn't perform twice in one day. In the fourth act, we're again at the Lakeside, and here's where you'll see the different versions of the endings that we talked about in the last video. And if you haven't seen that one, it's linked above. If you want to go even deeper, you can join me on Substack. I do a ton of free content over there, reviews, articles, podcasts. We do a live meetup at the end of every month and watch the ballet of the month or the dancer of the month and answer questions and dive a little deeper into the backstory and the nuances. You can find the link in the profile. Thanks for watching. I'm Cynthia Dragoni, The Dance Lens.